Hello everybody, video here for you today. There is a ranch in northern Utah that's considered to be the epicenter of the strangest and most disturbing phenomena on Earth. Bizarre UFO sightings, animal mutilations, and unusual energies that have proven harmful to humans. The federal government tried and failed for 20 years to find answers, but now a new team of experts has taken over, determined to reveal the secret Skinwalker Ranch. This is no cap recap of The Secret of Skinwalker Ranch, Season 2, Episode 4, called There's No Place Like Homestead 2, aired May 25th, 2021. For more Skinwalker Ranch recaps, there's a playlist link in the upper right. The episode begins with LiDAR expert Pete Kelsey's first appearance on the show. Eric has invited him to the ranch to assist in following up on Homestead 2. Testing with lasers on the previous episodes did not reveal anything conclusive, but Travis and Dragon experienced an immediate noticeable temperature drop and an unexplained light that was seen in the field nearby. There have been many reports of portals and other phenomena at Homestead 2, including from a retired colonel that was on the ranch as part of former owner Robert Bigelow's NIDS team that studied the ranch for 20 years. It was the first time someone from that team would speak on the show with the current team, who have also experienced phenomena at the site themselves. People use a simultaneous localization and mapping, or SLAM, scanner that is handheld. It will create a 3D model of the area and possibly reveal things that can't be seen with the naked eye. Under the direction of Pete, Eric does the scanning by sweeping back and forth with the SLAM scanner, similar to metal detecting. While the team waits for that data to be processed, ranch manager Jim Morris brings Uinta Basin native Roland McCook to the ranch to meet with caretakers Candace and Tom to tell of his Homestead 2 experience, which was documented in the late Junior Higgs' 60-plus years research of the local phenomena provided to the team by the Higgs family recently. The ranch is 2 to 3 miles from Roland's former home, and when he was about 10 years old, he would climb the mesa there to look for rabbits. Upon arriving at Homestead 2, Roland says he is a little nervous. He then tells of being on the mesa with a friend 40 years ago when he was 10 years old and using the main homestead building as shelter from the weather. He says he was looking out of the doorway and heard scurrying noises. At that moment, something stacked behind the building fell over. He told his friend, "That sounds bigger than a raccoon." Armed with a gun, they took off after it. Looking for tracks, they saw human bare footprints in the snow. They followed the prints and eventually they turned into big dog or wolf footprints. After being betrayed by the Ute tribe, the Navajo put a Skinwalker curse on the Uinta Basin. Skinwalkers are witches that can transform into or possess wolves. Roland continues that they eventually saw the creature. It had red eyes and pointed at him. His friend fired a semi-automatic weapon at it, and it roared very loudly and ran away. Former ranch owners, the Shermans, encountered large wolf-like creatures several times during their ownership. Roland says that after the incident, when he was at home in bed, he would hear growling and claws scraping the building. At that moment, he starts to collapse, but Tom steadies him and helps him move to the front of the building. That has happened to several other people standing close to the cistern behind the homestead. He requests a moment alone, lights stage, and prays for help moving past the incident and for protection. After Jim takes Roland off the ranch, the team goes to Homestead 2 to see if they can detect anything that may have caused him to nearly pass out. They do find an electric field and an increased level of radiation near the cistern. Dr. Taylor says that going forward, anyone in the Homestead 2 area should always have scanning equipment with them. LiDAR data process, Pete Kelsey returns to the ranch. Dr. Taylor points out that the data from inside the building is missing. What we are seeing is just the exterior data, which Pete cannot explain. He has had no experience previously with missing data during a scan like this. Dr. Taylor says they will ponder a next step to try to explain it. That step is to invite Rabbi Ariel Zadok to the ranch. Judaism beliefs can possibly explain the portal phenomenon. Dr. Taylor says he doesn't generally conduct mystic experiments or rituals, but at this point, they have nothing to lose. Rabbi Zadok explains that the Bible mentions other indigenous races on Earth. They exist in what religion would call a spiritual plane, perhaps scientifically described as a fourth dimension. He suggests that an earth spirit has called the ranch area home as long as it has been alive, and that it's possible that they do not like humans encroaching on their domain. The spirit could be coming and going through a portal. He will conduct a ritual using tones that are for opening the heavens, a pathway, in essence, a portal. The ritual will also specifically invite whatever is on the ranch to communicate with them if it is willing. He says he already senses it, and at that moment, Dr. Taylor says, "Holy S," and points towards this UAP in the sky. It vanishes after a few seconds. It was in the exact spot another UAP was in an earlier episode. Then it reappears only to diminish and then disappear. And here's what that looks like. Since phenomena is active, Eric and Dr. Taylor want to proceed to Homestead 2 ASAP. Dr. Taylor mentions later that the ranch often responds when new people visit. Since phenomena is active, Eric and Dr. Taylor want to proceed to Homestead 2 ASAP. Dr. Taylor mentions later that the ranch often responds when new people visit. Rabbi Zadok decides to use this rock in front of the mesa across the road from Homestead 2 for his ritual. He says this is a sacred place, and if there is an entity that feels they are intruding, this will be placed as an offering of peace. We are not here to encroach. We are not here to harm. The team sets up rocks in a circle around the big rock at the rabbi's request. The tonal ceremony will have to be done after dark. They will be using spectrum analyzers, tri-field meters, infrared cameras, and thermal cameras. The team is also going to do an audio recording during and after the rabbi's ceremony. Rabbi Zadok begins reciting in Hebrew the traditional Torah prayers for that time of day. He later says that he senses a very old presence on the ranch. He asks for permission to be there and to give a blessing to the land. During this, Dr. Taylor asked Dragon to shine a light on the doorway of the main house because the thermal image has completely changed. And then it changed again as the treetops got warmer. Dr. Taylor says it's coming down one tree and circling a gold vortex indicated by the highlighting. Rabbi Zadok said that these entities are often described as cold. Dr. Taylor goes down to the homestead to check it out for himself. Thomas and Dragon accompany him. Thomas is the first in the cold spot, and Dr. Taylor says it's freezing. Thermal imaging shows them in the center of the anomaly. The white-red at the bottom are the guys walking around. It's cold inside the building as well, but they don't see anything. The team will get thermal images for several more nights to get a baseline and also examine the data collected tonight in detail. The rabbi concludes the experiment by saying, "This will continue. You will have more episodes, more revelations, more insights. You are here for a purpose." The next day, Eric points out that the thermals look like this most of the time, but once Rabbi Zadok concluded his recitations, the cold took over a lot of the area in just 10 to 20 seconds. In the episode, the video of the thermal shows the blue cold area dropping almost like a curtain. Dr. Taylor mentions that the rabbi had said a portal may not look like what you think it would look like, so it's possible that the source of the cold was from a portal that was not picked up by the naked eye nor any of their instruments. Another thing that Eric found in the thermal footage was a cold spot, a blue circle moving from right to left. And here it is in video form. I'll continue retro recapping seasons 2 through 4 of The Secret of Skinwalker Ranch. Seasons 1 and 5 are already done completely and are in my Skinwalker Ranch playlist. Season 6 will start in May of 2025 if it holds to the 2024 scheduling. I'm also doing retro no-cap recaps, The Curse of Oak Island, Seasons 7 and 8. All of the other episodes from Seasons 1 through 11 are already done and are in my Oak Island playlist. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, like, and comment.